What's going on? It's Saturday night and it's time to talk NFL. Sure as shit ain't talking college football. College football can go fuck itself. That's what it can do. What a kick in the nuts today was, right? Not only at DFS, just that my team's losing, right? You think I'm an Oklahoma State alumni and they beat the Sooners and I'm fucking broken up about it. What's up, new guy? I'm Tilted and I'm also James, better known as the Degenerate75. I'm a DFS content creator who is here to help you get a little bit better at DFS. If you want my picks and my plays, man, I got great news. There's about 8,000 other shows that do that. Just go watch them, okay? I'm not even going to tell you to fuck off, okay? But you can fuck off, all right? So just know there's plenty of other shows you could go watch. That's not what I'm going to do. I'm much more of a process guy. Been doing this for a long time. Know a lot about it. Going to help you get better at things that you probably don't even think about. If that sounds interesting, I encourage you to hang around for about the next 30 to 45 minutes, maybe even toss your question over there in that chat, and you can win a ticket with me that we will build tomorrow that I will split the profits with you 50-50. More on that in a second. But if you really like the cut of my jib, you motherfucker, you come check out that schedule right there. I do this show every Saturday night at 7 o'clock, Lord's time zone as always. And, of course, I do my Monday night and Thursday night stream at noon the day of, so you can watch me at lunch. And I do a first look show every Tuesday with Tambo. I also do college football and golf. And coming this February, I will be doing NASCAR. That's it. That's the only things I do. You want me to do more? Well, too bad, pal. I only got so many hours in the day. I don't even know if I have enough hours to do this shit. All right, as I said, for every 50 likes we get over here in the chat, my dude Eric is sponsoring a giveaway tonight. He will be giving away these tickets that you will play with me. We and you, we will build them together. We will both agree on a team. We'll toss them in the main $25 millionaire maker, and if we win $1 million, I'll fucking PayPal you $500,000. I'm good for it. I mean, I did PayPal a dude. We split $25,000 earlier this year. That ain't $1 million, but I'll do it. And I'm pretty sure you could just take this video to a lawyer, and you'd have pretty good proof that I have to split it with you, right? So, yeah, get in there. Get in the chat, and I'll draw your name, all right? 2 questions at most. You ask more than 2 questions, I'm going to have the editor boot your ass into next week, you motherfather. All right, let's talk a little contest selection. Here, this is the one we'll be in new. Oh, man, my mouse is acting up on me. Not you, mouse. Not you. I've had too rough of a day. Here's the big millionaire maker we'll be in. Should you play in this? No, but if you're playing a free ticket with me, you should. If you want to play in this, go put 150 lineups in it. I won't say a word to you, okay? I see this so often where I'll see guys like go throw their 2 lineups in this and one of them hits for like $50,000 or something, and then they screenshot it because everybody wants to be a screenshot bro, and I get it. If you're just a normal dude on Twitter and you hit $20, $30, $40, $50,000, that's like incredible money, right? That's the dream that everybody's chasing at DFS, and I'm happy for those guys when they do that. I genuinely am. Okay, not the stupid fucking touts that do it, but like just normal everyday dudes that do that. That's really cool, and I get really excited for them. But what's dangerous about that is every other normal dude sees that and they think, well, if that random slapdick can do it, I can do it. And tossing just 2 lineups in this and with a dream and a prayer, just know that's about as negative EV as you're ever going to be. So, like, when you do that, that's fine. Do it. If you want to dream, if you want to live a little dream, you go do that, pal. But just know, every time you're doing that, you're just burning through money. And you wonder, well, nobody can win at DraftKings. Yes, people can. You just get in stupid contests and go play in that. You'd be so much better putting that in like a $50 single entry instead of tossing 2 or 3 lineups in this bad boy. I get it. You want to dream. You're going to hit $1 million. Blah, I saw this one guy. He did it. It'll be me. No, it won't. But okay, you do you. But also, if you're going to do you, you also don't get to be the guy that bitches about how you never win and DraftKings is impossible, okay? Because you could go play in smaller contests with less than 1,000 contestants with flat payout structures, and you would be so much more sustainable. When you get that 7th place, which when you're playing in smaller fields, 7th place isn't a once-in-a-lifetime event, right? It's often a once-in-a-season event if you know what you're doing, okay? But you're never going to know that because you're playing in contests with 250,000 people in it where you will be lucky. I mean, like, you're going to have to be astronomically lucky to get 1 top 10 in your life throwing 3 lineups in there a week, okay? There you go. I know that hurts your feelings, but if you're the kind of guy that hurts your feelings, I don't want you watching my show anyway, so go off. Shoo, new guy. Shoo away. All right. That's all you get for contest selection, guys. Look, DraftKings has the greatest contest out there. NFL main slate, there's the best contest out there. Flat payout structures, big contests, small contests, single entries, 3 maxes, 20 maxes, 5 maxes, anything you want, they have. So if you can't find contests you want on Sunday main slate, you're not looking hard enough because it is nutted. I mean, it is nutted all around. DraftKings does an incredible job of putting any kind of contest you want out there for Sunday main slate. But, of course, the one contest you should get in is mine. Look, it's about halfway full. Go get it filled up. We got 500 spots in it this week. Help me get it filled up. $5 3 max, flat payout structure, reduced rate. Go get in it. Editor, I see already toss it over here in the chat. Go get in it right now. 3 lineups. Get in there. If you do, you'll get a shout out. And look at my dude right there, BM900. Remember that name because he'll be on the collage in a little bit. That same lineup that he boat raced my contest with, might have taken second place in the Millionaire Maker, right? So that's pretty cool. And he's one of my dudes. He's like an OG original over on my site. So pretty pumped to see how much money he won there, right? And you know what? Representing it with Sully, right? What the hell's the guy's name in Sopranos? I should have Polly plugged in right now. How do I not remember? No, Chris. His name's Chris. Goodness gracious. All right, I'm struggling. The big guy's struggling tonight. Let me get a little swig of the Perrier. All right. I really started to do props. This is just something that I see the future of, NFL betting going towards. A lot of people like DFS like props, and I've started betting props. I've got a network of people that put props down. I've got some really smart guys that are sending them to me. I'm using the prop sniper over at Run the Sims. Use my code DGen75 if you want to use it. And I've just been killing these props. Like, I'm not kidding. The one I put out Monday went 2 of 3. The one I put out Thursday went 3 of 3. The one I put out for college football yesterday went 5 for 5. I mean, it's nutted. I'm telling you, we're killing these prop picks. If you're selective and you're not a degenerate that just goes in there and just has to bet everyone and you just go pick the ones that are plus EV, you'll be amazed how often you get there, right? So here's some that my tryhards have selected for tomorrow, the main slate. I guess this isn't the main slate, just for this week at NFL, right? Austin Eckler over 47.5 rushing yards. This one, honestly, I almost thought that it was like a typo. That seems too low for Austin Eckler rushing total. I know that he has not been getting the volume and the rushings that he has been, but it's still Austin Eckler, man. He's like over 47.5 is a very good one. Tyson Bagent. Under 13.5 rushing yards. Look, there is a chance he's going to be scrambling for his life, but we have not seen this guy take off and want to run very much. And 13.5 rushing yards seems so low, but I'm telling you, man, like, just go watch. NFL quarterbacks rarely get over 13.5 rushing yards, especially when they're a slow piece of shit like him. And then lastly, I know it's November, but we're going to Michael Myers one more time. Under 2.5 receptions, right? This is just this offense is kind of garbage, and even though he's out on the field more, there's the whole problem of the offense sucks and they got to get him the ball. Those are 3 prop picks I'm going to be chasing. You can get that at plus 115 too if you take the under on that, and that is really good value when you're getting plus 115. So that's why I like that. I would say that's about a 50-50 proposition, and so if you can get plus 115, take it. All right, the other thing I wanted to talk about is my process tip of the week. Look, if I'm going to be the process guy and I'm not going to give you my picks and plays and all that nonsense, well, then I better give you a process tip that will hopefully that you can think about and maybe incorporate on your own. This week's process tip is this. What's better? Is it better to have gross stacks with safe one-offs or safe stacks with gross one-offs? And I think this is the perfect week to bring up this tip because, let's face it, there's basically 3 really nice stacks this week, right? We got Lamar stacks, we got Hurt stacks, and we have Dak stacks. Those are 3 legitimate NFL quarterbacks who have a track record of being good at fantasy football, and they have weapons all around them with high totals. So those would be quote-unquote safe stacks, right? Yes, they're a little expensive, but they are, without question, safe. And so what a lot of people do is they will go play that safe stack and they think, oh, well, I'm playing these chalky stacks. What I need to do is I need to go play some gross one-offs, right? One-offs are those guys from other games. I'm going to go take this Jamison Crowder. I'm going to go take this Noah Brown, these random one-off piece of shits from other games. Whereas the vice versa of that is you go play gross stacks, right? You go play a Jaron Hall stack or something like that, right? Just a really filthy stack, and then you go play safer one-offs, right? Like good one-off plays, like maybe an A.J. Brown would be an example of a really safe one-off play, right? A Alvin Kamara, you go get these one-off pieces that are not necessarily correlated. They're just good pieces from other games. So the question is, on a slate like this week, which of these 2 do I think is better? And to me, there's the definitive answer. The better answer is you should definitely want to go with gross stacks and safe one-offs because those safe one-offs are safe one-offs likely because they're in a very good spot and those guys are going to produce in those spots. But you also don't want to just go play all of the good pieces that everybody else is playing. That's called being chalky, and then you're going to be in a very similar build to thousands of other lineups, right? So when you take a gross stack and you're willing to do that, we've seen it numerous times. I can think of at least 5 Millionaire Maker winners this year where the gross stack were the ones that they won the GPP, right? And the nice thing about a gross stack is, yes, you might be playing 2 or 3 gross players in a lineup together, right? Let's say you do play, Jaron Hall, right? And you want to stack him with whoever, right? Some nasty assholes from that team. Or hell, let's take Mac Jones, and you want to go double stack him with Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry or something ridiculous like that, right? I think any of those 3 are disgusting plays on their own. But when you put them together, the correlation between them makes them more likely to get there. If one of them does well, it increases the likelihood of the other ones to do well. Whereas when you play a safe stack, sure, when Jalen Hurts does well, there's a very good chance that A.J. Brown or Dallas Goedert or Devontae Smith will also do well. But what is not correlated is all those sick, disgusting one-off pieces that you're hope hitting. You may hit the nut stack with Jalen Hurts or Lamar Jackson or whoever it is, right? And you may have him stacked up perfectly. But what are the chances that all 4 of your random slapdick stacks or your slapdick one-offs are going to hit? Not very good, Bob, right? Whereas, let's look at the inverse of that. Whenever I'm playing a bunch of one-offs, there is a decent chance that all of your good one-offs will hit, right? You go take an Alvin Kamara and an A.J. Brown and whoever the safe plays in your mind are this week, there is a good chance all 4 of them will have good weeks. Now all you need is 1 stack to hit. So what's more likely, 4 random one-offs hitting or 1 stack hitting? And to me, when you have a disgusting slate like this, it is so much better to go gross stacks and safer one-offs than safe stacks and gross one-offs. I hope all that makes sense to you. That was some level 37 shit. All right, let's get over to the stone, talk about this slate, then I'll get to your questions. But I just want to tell you, dgen75.com, enjoyed it in 2023 because we're blowing up in 2024. Get in there, lock it up now. We still have plenty of NFL. We have college football. We have PGA going on right now. NASCAR's coming up. I have packages as low as $5. There's got to be a place out there where you can get everything you need for DFS, projections, ownership, tools like the Rosetta Stone that have everything you need to be successful and compete, and do it all without getting price gouged. A place that focuses on the process and helping people build a process so you get these $100,000 wins, but that's not what I want you to focus on. I want you to focus on all these guys that are hitting, first place for 2,000 and 2,500 and 1,000 and 1,000 and 500, because those are the nice little hits right there that can make you a sustainable DFS player, make this fun, not burn through all your money, not be a deposit king, and learn the process, and eventually you will get a big win too. This is what we do over at my site. If that sounds interesting, I encourage you to check it out. Look at Josh Allen right there. We changed the background, so it's no longer Tiger Woods. He'll be back during golf season. If you want to try out the site, but you are a little reluctant to pay, well, just sign up for my newsletter right here in the description of this video. Let support at DGen75 know. They'll get you hooked up on the site. All right, the first thing we should always check is the weather. And honestly, the weather looks not very concerning at all, right? The Kansas City game, there might be some rain, but, that's every World War II movie I watch, it's always raining over there. So there you go. That's what I base it on, all right? Let's see. As far as the weather goes, there's literally no game that has me a little concerned, right? The Texans and the Bucks might have some fog, but I don't think they're going to have fog inside the dome unless they're shooting off fireworks and some shit like that. So, generally speaking, the slates look good tomorrow, right? No wind, no weather. So, sometimes I'll just instantly X games off if they have some mediocre teams and they're playing in bad weather, but I don't see that tomorrow. So, we have a nice little 10-game slate tomorrow. You can see I have the watered-down Rosetta Stone on here. Deal with it, all right? This is the YouTube. This is the free show. You will take it and you'll like it. Make sure you're hitting that like. I need to get up to 100 likes over there so I can give away at least 2 tickets tonight. At least 2. All right, let's get going. First game up. Atlanta, Minnesota. In the Dome, 2 teams that normally, when you just see these team names, you're like, ooh, this will be a shootout. And then you remember that the quarterbacks are Jaren Hall and Taylor Heineke. Oh, so gross, right? I will say this, all right? I will say this. Tyler Heineke is a legit quarterback. We've seen him have legit games before as a fantasy quarterback. But just know, Drake London's out, right? Who is definitively his best wide receiver. I still think Kyle Pitts is kind of a bust. But Kyle Pitts, if he's ever going to do well, this is a great spot for him to do well because Tyler Heineke can throw a forward pass, which I oftentimes questioned if Desmond Ridder could. Bijan at 6,100 I think is going to be wildly popular. The problem with stacking Heineke is who are you going to stack him with? Are you lining up to stack him with Van Jefferson? I mean, golly. He was like the 9th receiver for the Rams. You're going to go be the number 1 wide receiver for the Falcons? I doubt it. Mac Hollins, maybe. Look, I'll say this. The game is at home. They do have a 21-point total, and Taylor Heineke has had a pulse in the NFL before. Those are all reasons to consider him as a disgusting stack. But let me ask you this. Do you think there's any chance that the Vikings will push them? If Kirk Cousins was active, I'd be like, hell yes, they can push them, right? They can score 21, 28 points and really push this game. But can Jaren Hall push them? I don't know. Jaren Hall is the rookie out of BYU. Okay, we already know BYU quarterbacks don't do well in the NFL, unless they're Steve Young. Look, at $4,800, I think you always got to be warm to the idea. He is playing Atlanta. That's a plus. He is in a dome. That's a plus. He does have Jordan Addison and TJ Hawkinson. That's a plus. So this is what I'm talking about. Both of these guys just reek of disgusting stacks. I wish they were in reverse spots because if I could stack Heineke with Addison and Hawkinson, my ass would be in. Okay, but it's not how it works. I got to stack Jaren Hall with the better receivers, whereas Taylor Heineke is the better quarterback, but he has shittier options to stack with. But I think you got to consider both of them. The game isn't a dome, and when 2 shitty teams play, sometimes the game just accidentally shoots out. From there, Seattle-Baltimore, this is going to be one of the more popular games on the slate, especially on the early part of the slate. You have two functional offenses. You can see we have one of the bigger totals on the slate at a mere 44.5 points. Baltimore has really started to show some life. The 2 weeks in a row, they've looked great. 2 weeks ago, it was Lamar just lighting it up. Last week, it was Gus Edwards just, being LaDainian Tomlinson. And so there's a lot to like about Baltimore. They are at home. The weather does seem as though it's going to be nice. Seattle does have an offense that could push them. But I'm just going to tell you right now, a Lamar Jackson, Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews stack is not cheap, right? Now, relatively speaking, it's not super expensive, but on this slate, it ain't cheap, right? So, just know that, you're going to have a punt or two in there to go with a stack like that. The inverse of that, though, Geno Smith on the road, right? Maybe they're going to be in a script where they're behind. We've already seen them start to get a little weird with the running game, and if they're behind, there is a chance that they could abandon that running game. Who do you want to stack him with? Well, I will tell you, JSN, Jackson Smith-Njigba, the rookie, has been getting more and more involved. I still think DK Metcalf's not quite right. He just hasn't seemed like himself. But I think Tyler Lockett might be the forgotten about one here, right? Just a guy that you could consider if you think that Seattle's going to be behind and passing the ball all over the field. For me, this might be another one of those games. I loved that I saw the Millionaire Maker last week. Instead of going in there and playing a chalky Lamar Jackson, he just went in there and grabbed Gus Edwards. Because when Gus Edwards does well, that almost directly steps on the dick of Lamar, Zay Flowers, and Mark Andrews. Because if Gus Edwards is scoring all the touchdowns, that means none of those guys are scoring the touchdowns, right? So I really loved that leverage play. And I think that we might have a chance to do that again this week in that Eagles and Cowboys game. But more on that in a little bit. Let's get over to Arizona and Cleveland. Clayton Tune, the rookie out of Houston, is going to be starting at a mere $4,400, right? DeMarcado is out, so I guess Keontae Ingram and Tony Jones are going to split it. Let me just give you some advice. Stay the hell away from that backfield. But Clayton Tune, I don't know. I know everybody thinks Cleveland's defense is God tier, but Clayton Tune can throw the forward pass. He has weapons. Marquise Brown, Trey McBride, Rondell Moore. I mean, these are guys that are serviceable to good NFL players. So I don't hate it, and I'm just telling you, no one will be on that. Deshaun Watson, you do have to worry. Is he going to continue to fake his injury? We don't know. Jerome Ford did come back last week, surprisingly, and actually kind of dominated the snap share in the second half. I still think it's his backfield, probably about 60-40, or maybe I should say 60-30, and then probably 10% going to Pierre Strong. Amari Cooper always seems like on this slate, I can't believe I'm saying this, but actually seems like a pretty legitimate wide receiver option. He is kind of the usage monster there, and I think David Njoku makes sense, especially if you're considering Deshaun Watson stacks, which, let's face it, if Deshaun ever gets back to himself, 5,400 is a gross underpricing. The Rams and Green Bay, I think the big news here, if Matthew Stafford plays, this game interests me, right? Because Matthew Stafford is a tough SOB. He has the banged-up thumb. I would say 50-50 at best he's going to play. If he's out, Brett Rypien is going to play. If he plays, I lose a lot of interest in Kupp and Nakua. But if Matthew Stafford plays, Kupp, Nakua become very lively to me, right? I'm not worried about Green Bay weather. It looks like it's going to be pretty nice. And I bet if Stafford does play, you will see the Rams probably, get 400 yards of offense, get 21 points. And in a game like that, they could push the pace of this and be successful. And I think that they're likely to be playing from behind. So they're probably going to be ripping the ball all around the field. Green Bay, on the other hand, I've just given up hope on him, man. I was a Jordan Love truther at the start of the year. I was wrong. He is not good. Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon are both dusty. I don't care who they're playing. I'm not playing them. And Christian Watson, I think, is a true talent, and I want to keep believing. But, Jesus, how many weeks can I keep playing the guy that he doesn't deliver till I get there? I think the most interesting player for the Packers is probably Luke Musgrave. That'd probably be the one I would consider. But once again, man, this might just be, especially if Rypien starts, this might just be one of those games I X out. I don't want to have action on all 10 games, so I try to X some games out, and I just stay the hell away from them. Tampa Bay, Houston, I personally love this game. It's in a dome. We've seen, every time the Texans play in a game, I just always think, ooh, that could be a sneaky shootout, and this week's no different, my brother. So, what do I like about this game? Well, first of all, C.J. Stroud at home in the dome with really good pass catchers, right? We already know about Nico Collins and Tank Dell, but don't forget, Noah Brown really started to crank up the targets last week. Dalton Schultz is a very legit tight end. They got all kinds of weapons in the passing game, but I think the big news here is Dameon Pierce is out, so maybe the play is you just go in there and take Devin Singletary and hope that he eats up a touchdown or two and counterfeits Stroud in the passing game, and you get that. But just be aware, Devin Singletary is going to be wildly popular at 4,300, right? So, you're not going to be the only person who's going to think of that strategy. Or maybe the answer is you run Baker Mayfield stacks because he has all kinds of guys to stack. Otton, Godwin, hell, even Palmer you can stack with him. And then you just run it back with Devin Singletary, right? That is one that also makes sense to me. Moving on, Washington and New England. This game, normally this would just be a throwaway game for me. I wouldn't even consider it, but we did just see Washington finally show some signs of life. They look like world beaters last week on offense. Sam Howell looked great. McLaurin, Dotson were all involved. Curtis Samuel is out, which I think gives a big boost to Jamison Crowder. Logan Thomas has been, very solid all year, so this is a game that I could see. And weirdly enough, Washington is likely to be playing from behind. So let me go ahead and give you the filthiest stack of all time. What about a New England stack? People are going to play Ramondre. At 5,400, he is taking over that backfield, and people are going to play him. But no one, and I mean no one, is going to play Mac Jones. They are at home. They're going to be playing a team that is likely to have some offensive success, so they're going to at least push the pace of the game a little bit. And you have Mac Jones with a very condensed wide receiver pool, right? If you have not seen Kendrick Bourne's out for the year, which is massive news. And then who else? Tyquan Thornton. Who the hell else is out? I can't even remember who else is out because the fucking Stone's not updated here. They were dicking around with it earlier. And who the hell else is out? It's not. Oh, Devontae Parker's out. That's right. Juju is playing, but Juju sucks, so don't worry about him. But you could go Douglas, Henry, Gesicki, hell, even Jalen Reagor might be somebody to consider. It's just the cheapest stack ever. No one's going to consider it. Once again, am I trying to sell you on a Patriot stack? No, I'm just trying to give you some ones to consider that literally no one will even consider. They have a 22-point total, so what happens if it is just Mac Jones and Hunter Henry? Maybe a little skinny stack, run it back with McLaurin or whoever you think goes off for the Commanders. Chicago, there is rumors that Justin Fields could play. I don't think he's going to, but there is a chance, right? Tyson Bagent, if he starts, I think that the Chicago's offense is almost unplayable, right? Now, if Fields plays, give me all the Justin Fields in the world, right? Let me single stack him all day long. I don't think he's going to play, but let a man dream, all right? For New Orleans, Derek Carr, if you haven't noticed, he scored over 20 DraftKings points 3 games in a row, and I think that a Derek Carr stack is the one way that you can play the Saints and play them differently than everybody else, because almost everybody is going to play Alvin Kamara this week. The guy's looked really good. He has such an incredibly safe floor from all those backfield targets he's getting, and here is the thing. If you're going to stack Derek Carr, almost everybody will stack him, probably with Shaheed or Michael Thomas, but I don't think anybody is going to do Chris Olave. Chris Olave has not been very efficient this year, but trust me, the guy is getting targets. There's just no way he is not good. So if you're going to run Derek Carr, don't be afraid of a Derek Carr, Chris Olave, Juwan Johnson nasty-ass stack, right? Especially if you think that Chicago can push the pace of this game at all. Probably my favorite game on the slate, Indianapolis and Carolina. Indianapolis is a team just like the Houston. Every time I see him, I'm like, ooh, sneaky shootout game. And this game, once again, has one of the bigger totals on the slate at 44 points, right? Gardner Minshew is a very serviceable quarterback. He has solid receivers with Pittman, Downs, and Pierce. Hell, even Kylan Granson's a solid tight end. But what really makes Indianapolis appealing is they are really starting to run the ball like the Colts that we have gotten used to. Jonathan Taylor, I think this is the week we finally start to see him take over that backfield. I think you're going to see probably about a 65-35 split between him. And Jonathan Taylor getting 15 to 18 touches is pretty appealing at just $6,400. But once again, I'm gonna go back to the well one more time. I am open to Bryce Young stacks. He's $5,100. He projects well. They're at home. They're likely to be in a game that's going to be one of the higher paced games on the slate, which is hilarious to say about a 44-point game. And if we get word that DJ Chark is out, I think that really condenses it down to really the only 3 guys you're considering stacking him with are Thielen, Mingo, and Terrence Marshall. So if you get word that DJ Chark's out, I actually think that makes Bryce Young more appealing because that condenses down the realistic targets of wide receivers that he's going to throw to, right? Hayden Hurst, that guy sucks. Hell, Tommy Trimble even caught a touchdown last week. So I think I'd just stick to his receivers. And Bryce Young's so cheap, he really probably only needs to get one guy there to have a good week. Getting the afternoon games, we have the Giants and the Raiders. Just a couple dusty-ass teams. Garoppolo's out, which makes the Raiders, gives them a pretty big discount. We got AOC, the rookie from, where's he from? Purdue. I think everybody's just going to come play in this game. They're going to go play Josh Jacobs and Saquon Barkley. So maybe if you want to be really different, and remember, you don't have to be different at every single point. But if you want to if you want to get off that Kamara chalk, you consider a Carr stack. If you want to get off a Jacobs chalk, you just go consider AOC and go stack him with a whiny-ass Devontae Adams, right? Something like that. That could make sense. I don't know that I'd be double stacking him, but he could get one wide receiver there. On the flip side of that, never forget, Daniel Jones has 2 or 3 big games a year. Yes, I know he's broken and his neck is snapped in half, but if everybody wants to play Saquon, if he's going to be over 20%, I promise you can get Daniel Jones at 2%. Just another filthy-ass stack to consider. It will be in Las Vegas. It will be in a dome, and we have seen Daniel Jones already have a monster game in a dome earlier this year at the Cardinals when he won the Millionaire Maker. And lastly, probably without question, the most popular game on the slate, which I think you would be a fool to not probably have some access to this game. Hell, even if you're just coming in and playing the defenses, I think that's something you want to consider. Because this game, you're going to be sitting there feeling good about your lineups, and then this game's going to go off in the afternoon. You're going to watch all your lineups moonwalk. So just be ready for that, right? This game has the biggest total on the slate at 47 points. This game has a competitive total. This has two teams that are full of stars, and it has two teams that are playing for quite a bit. So with all that in mind, where do we start? Well, let's start with Dallas. I think Tony Pollard is dust. There, I said it. Now, on this slate, because this is a terrible slate for running backs, I think you need to consider Tony Pollard, right? But he just has not looked himself. I think we're going to find out at the end of the year he had some nagging injury, and it had him playing at 85% all year because he looks like about 85% of himself. I think Dak on the road, I like Dak in domes at home. He seems to play a lot better, but he is going to be on the road. CeeDee Lamb, Cooks, Ferguson, hell, even Gallup are reasonable guys to stack him with, and it's actually a very affordable stack. And I think the fact that CeeDee is 8,200 is going to keep his ownership down quite a bit because people will be like, why would I pay 8,200 for CeeDee when I could go get all these other receivers that are perceived better at or just below his price? For Philadelphia, I think without question they're going to be the chalkiest team on the slate. Jalen Hurts stacks are going to be wildly popular. I will say I think most people that stack Jalen Hurts will almost certainly stack him with either A.J. Brown or Dallas Goedert. I don't think a ton of people are going to stack him with Devontae Smith, and I don't think you'll see any correlation with him and DeAndre Swift. So maybe if you're going to play Jalen Hurts, which I get it, if you want to play Jalen Hurts, he is without question the best play on the slate if you just look at like straight upside and floor. I get it. I really do. But maybe the answer to the test is, should I play him or shouldn't I? It's how can I play him that's different than everybody else? And maybe the answer to that is you try to play him with a Devontae. Maybe the answer to that is you just play him with DeAndre Swift and hope he runs a couple touchdowns in, right? Maybe you play him in a way that not everybody else is. Because I promise you, most people that play Jalen Hurts will almost certainly have him with either A.J. Brown or Dallas Goedert. And I get it. Those guys are badasses and they make a lot of sense. And as I said earlier, if you want to stack Jalen Hurts with A.J. Brown, you can do that. And you can actually stack A.J. Brown and Dallas Goedert with him. But just know that is a very, very common stack this week. And now you're probably having to play a lot of those punt one-offs, right? You're going to have to go play Pop Douglas. You're going to have to go play Jamison Crowder to have enough money to afford that lineup, right? And when you do that, what's more likely to hit? The safe stack and 4 little one-off pieces, or a nasty stack and 4 good one-off pieces? That would be my question to you. Only you'll know the answer. But I will say this. Do not fade these chalky games. Ask yourself, how can you get access to this game that is in a way that not everybody else will? And maybe the answer is you just want to be overexposed to this game. Maybe you go play the Dallas side and just go heavy on that. Maybe you play all your stacks Jalen Hurts and you say, well, yes, he's chalky, but I'm playing him so much I still have leverage on the field. I don't know the answer to it. It's your lineups, and you want to know something? I don't give a shit who you play, Bob. All right, let's get to the drawings. I see 85 likes. Get it up to 100 real quick. While he does, guys, if you want my projections, you want my ownership, I'm the sweatiest tryhard you'll ever meet. I do this for NFL, college football, PGA, and soon to be NASCAR. I load them right here into the solver. Not only do you get the best optimizer out there in the solver, which will make the best version of your player pool, you also get all my projections and ownership loaded into there. You get all of this. If you just want football, $34.99 a month. That's not only the optimizer, which most optimizers like over $100 a month. You get the optimizer and all my projections, so long as you use that little Showdown, Hoedown symbol right there. So if you want those, do it. If you want it for PGA, same thing applies. If you want it for college football, same thing applies. I got it for all of them. Once again, go get my contest. Get this bitch filled up. I don't want to be begging people on Twitter in the morning like a slapdick, okay? All right, editor, I see 87 likes. Go ahead and draw me one name, and once we get to 100 likes, I will draw another one. Jay Steele. Oh, the Buckeye won. All right, guys, keep hitting that like. Once we get to 100 likes, we'll do another one. I'm going to answer some questions in the meantime. Let me get back over here to the stone real quick. All right, let's see. Let's go answer some questions. Who wins out of the Eagles and the Cowboys? The Eagles will win the game. What's your sneaky stack that can get you to flip the top of what is a sneaky stack that can maybe get you to the top if other games fail? Well, I think the big one's going to be if this game fails, what could get you there? And, like I'm telling you, I already went over some. I don't mind a Minshew stack. I don't mind a Bryce Young stack. I don't mind a Derek Carr stack. Please, Jesus, let Justin Fields play. I'll be all in on that motherfather. I don't know if I love the Sam Howell stack. I just feel like, I don't know. I just feel like the Patriots still can play some sneaky good D at home. What's up, big guy? What's up for you, brother? Jonathan Taylor or Zach Moss? Amazing. I would say Jonathan Taylor. I'm not playing Zach Moss because I think he's going to slowly get phased out to Jonathan Taylor's superior talent and or contract. But here's what I'd say. Maybe neither, right? Like if Jonathan Taylor's going to be chalky, maybe I'll just go play some other running backs. That would be my answer. All right, let's see here. Saints stack with Taysom Hill. Will Taysom kill the stack again? It's always a possibility. That's why I'm always reluctant to play the Saints. Look, the Saints are passing the ball, and they pass the ball down the field. And if you don't know about fantasy football, NFL quarterbacks that chunk the ball down the field are awesome, right? Because not only are they giving you a chance to get big plays, big point plays with passes down the field, they're also eating up the clock with lots of incompleted passes. Or, excuse me, they're not eating up the clock because the incomplete passes keep the game going longer, which usually means more plays. Viable to fade Philadelphia and Dallas? I don't think you want to completely fade it. Just go in there and get a piece that no one else is, right? Play that game like nobody else is. Go play one of the running backs and correlate it with a defense or something like that, right? Go in there and grab a one-off piece that you think blows up. Maybe Jalen Hurts throws 3 touchdowns and they're all the Dallas Goedert. So you just need a Dallas Goedert, right? Maybe that's a thing. Better stack, Texans or Saints? Let's see. I mean, probably the Texans, but I'm telling you, if Carr doesn't get pilfered by old Taysom Hill, I would probably lean the Saints. Grabaka Mex says, what do you think about Arizona? Is Slapdick Mingo going to be popular? I don't think so. I have a real hard time believing he's going to be popular. What do I think about Arizona? Not warm. That'd be the answer. I think they're just trying to get the Caleb sweepstakes. Watson stacks for all the money. I mean, he makes a lot of sense, but I'm telling you, that dude is broken mentally. I'm just telling you. Okay? Something happened to him. This whole off the field thing, it fucked him mentally. Is Chalk Kamara risky to fade? Yeah, he's very risky to fade, right? I hate Kamara. I never play him. And the fact that he's shocking makes me want to fade him. And I'm still probably going to play him. 95 likes. Oh, shit, we're getting there. Break the rule and pay up for defense this week? No. I'm still just not going to go above 3,200. I will say if there was ever a week I would do it, Habars, this would be the week. Just because the price. This is the softest week of main slate pricing I've ever seen in my life. Ever. The fact that the most expensive guy is 8,600. AJ Brown should be 9,500 on this slate. Do you like my username? Go Pokes 187. No, I don't get it. Because we kill Pokes. I don't get it. PayPal takes 3%, right? No, they don't. And if we split $500,000, I'm sending it to you as a friend. Is this slate to take a bigger chance than usual? Yeah, I think so, Tommy. I think this is a gross slate. I think you can be a little bit more adventurous than normal. I certainly will be. This is great on a Saturday night. Hey, Avery, you're great on a Saturday night, pal. Sight says, how do you feel about Stroud, Dell, Collins stacks? I like it a lot. Problem is I will tell you, I'm a little worried that Stroud was throwing the ball to Noah Brown a shit ton last week, right? I already hate that he splits it so evenly among Tank Dell and Nico Collins, and now I got to worry about stupid Noah Brown. Ugh, get on my nerves, why don't you? Smith a good way to be contrarian off of Brown? Absolutely. I think Devontae Smith is forgotten about. Everybody's going to play that Eagles game, and I think Devontae Smith is the sneaky play in that game. Him and I don't know, maybe CeeDee Lamb would probably be the two. Seems Patriots stack's going to be chalky because of the price. You say that, but there's the whole middle ground where the Patriots fucking suck, so I don't think people are going to want to play that. Spin down week at QBs and RBs and spin up. Yeah, I think that's very viable, Jason, if you want to. Because most people do it the inverse of that. Most people like to pay up at quarterback and running back, pay down at wide receiver. I see 101 likes out. Draw me another name. New England skinny stack. Jones and Douglas going to be popular? Yes. No. Douglas will be very popular. I don't think Jones will. What's your favorite backup quarterback stack to consider when taking into account game environment and weather? What is your favorite backup? I guess whenever you take all things into consideration, I'm pretty interested in Tyler Heineke in the Dome. I love Dome. Old Bijan Mustard Pitts with a Heineke at quarterback. Don't mind it, Salgado. Pumpkin swag. Do you think that the triple RB this week? Yeah, I think so. This would be a good week to put a running back in your flex. Let's see. New England versus Washington sneaky shootout. I don't think so, but some games got a shootout this week, so why not that one, right? How low do we go on defense? I mean, I'm pretty much always down. I'm almost open to any defense on a given week, right? Let me see who our second winner was. Jerry Matt, let's go. That man runs hot. Guys, I'm not going to lie to you. I kind of feel like shit right now. I don't know. I don't feel good. Ugh. Maybe I'm getting sick or something. Too many fucking streams. I'm going to answer 10 more questions. I'm out of here like a fat kid in dodgeball. Do you think Houston's an underrated team this season? I do. I think they're actually a pretty solid football team. I don't know if this is the right time, but what do you think about the simulation tool? Yeah, it's not the right time. Indy stacks, Thielen run back for all the goodness? Yeah, I don't mind it at all. I mean, Thielen, look, until he's not good, I'm just going to keep assuming he's good. Favorite QB to fly solo or naked? Well, if you made me play a naked quarterback, it would probably be Jalen Hurts because he can spread the ball around a little bit, and really he could just run for 2 or 3 touchdowns and just nerf everybody, right? Is Gesicki playing wide receiver this week? That's a pretty good question. I think you could see him out in the slot a decent amount. I think that's not a bad narrative, Mr. Crypto. With team totals expected to be low, do you think this is a single or double stacks is the way to go? Yeah, I will tell you that I still like double stacks this week simply just because I don't want to be playing a bunch of random people, right? I don't want to be playing a bunch of random one-offs this week. All right, let's see. Just looking for questions. Playing a lot of Heineke stacks. Do I have a problem? No, he would probably be one of my 5 favorite stacks, which just tells you everything you need to know about this week, right? So with gross stacks, are you more likely? God damn, this mouse is driving me nuts. Are you more likely to skinny stack? Yeah, I will say when I'm playing a cheap quarterback that I don't think can get 2 pass catchers there, often I will only do 1 pass catcher with him, right? Do you triple stack ever? Never on main slate, Dicehawk. Like literally never. Is there any way we can actually trust Deshaun Watson? I can. I think the guy. I'm telling you, I think the guy's mentally broken. How do you feel about a triple stack this week? Not for me. I mean, I just can't think of any quarterback I'd want to do it with. Maybe Dak would be the. I still couldn't even do it with him, right? Or who would you do? CD and Cooks and Ferguson? No, I can't do it. Who do you want to play with Daniel Jones? Is there a cure for this? I mean, I think you play Wandell and you pray, right? Giants defense, sneaky or chalk? I don't think they're going to be chalky. Probably just moderate. They'll be single-digit ownership almost for sure, right? All right, 3 running backs. How garbage these teams are. I think this is a good running back week. I'm telling you, this will be a week where I'll probably have a running back in my flex something like 50% of the time, and I almost always have a wide receiver in my flex. Thoughts on Bryce Young stacks with Mingo and Marshall? Already talked about it. Don't mind it, Kevin. Don't mind it at all. Is Jaren Hall a play? Yeah, he is. He definitely is. Just be ready to go down in flames. Just be ready to go down in flames, you mother father. Downs out for the Colts. How about Alex Pierce? Oh, so there you go. It looks like Downs. We had him marked here, so it looks like he's officially out. So, yeah, I think Alex Pierce, that actually makes me like a Garner Minshew stack a little bit more now, right? If Downs is out, I think basically he's throwing to Pierce and Pittman, right? I might be able to get down with that. And the good thing about Minshew is he's so damn cheap, he really only needs to get one of those guys there. So I might be interested in that. Plus, I already won a GPP this year with Minshew as my fucking quarterback. Why can't DK add early games to the full slate? Makes more interesting. People need to wake up. Yeah, I think they get worried that they're going to overlay, right? They're like, oh, shit, ain't nobody going to be up that early. What's the cheapest stack you consider? I mean, honestly, I gave like 7 of them I was considering. Fuck. Who was it that was like $4,400 a second ago? Who was that? Glayton Tune. I've even considered that. So if I'm considering him, everything. Out of here like a fat kid in dodgeball. Hey, glad you liked it, brother. Both RBs in play, Colts RBs in play. I mean, honestly, I if I had to choose between playing them both or playing neither in my player pool, I would go with neither. All right, guys, I appreciate all you swinging by. We got over 100 likes. We kept about 130 people in here. I'm sorry. I feel like shit. These lights are baking me like a potato in an oven. I think I'm going to run now. I still got to go do all my golf projections and get that shit out because, that's how I roll. It's been real, guys. I appreciate you being here. Good luck tomorrow. If you hit anything big, let me know. Don't forget to check out my website. And if you want to just sign up for the newsletter and try a free week, it's on me. I'll talk to you later. Enjoy this outro.